Finally, the time has come. After 6-7 weeks, it is now time for me to get this beast into the workshop so I can start finding out exactly what has happened to it. Now, I've been through the comments of the last video. There's a lot of guesses about how much I paid for the car. A lot of them, or I'd say the majority of them, are probably about right. And also, I've noticed in the comments that there's a few links to this car already actually featuring on a YouTube channel. So it actually turns out that it's possibly tuned and has an exhaust modification. But again, I'll talk to you about that in a moment. But the first thing we need to do is get it into the workshop. And ironically, it's been sat here in the absolute freezing cold for 7 weeks, and on the hottest day of the year, I take it inside to a cold workshop. I managed to find a toe and eye out of the Golf GTI in the end, and it literally just fits straight in, which I suspected it would, which saves me trying to ruin under the underside of the car and maybe potentially ripping the front bumper off whilst towing. So glad I checked that, because that worked sweet. Now, the other thing I want to do before I crack on with this is get the battery working and just test some of the other stuff of the car, like the nav, make sure the ignition works, radio, just make sure everything else kind of works before we go to town stripping the engine. And unfortunately, the battery is absolutely knackered. I've had a jump pack on it and a charger on it, and it still won't even turn the ignition on. All it's doing is just, I've got some like door lights on like that, and it let me open the boot, and I've got a boot light on as well. Got my battery tester out, told me it's knackered. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it on charge for, I don't know, half an hour, just to see if I can get enough juice in the battery. Yeah, literally just nothing left to get the ignition on. And then, yeah, we'll get it onto the ramp. Right, so while the battery is on charge, I just want to thank today's sponsor of the video, which is Pouch. Now, Pouch is a free desktop browser extension that automatically finds and applies the best discount codes when you're shopping online. Now, to give you an example, the C63, the RS4, they use a lot of oil, and also my work van uses a lot of oil as well, purely because of the amount of miles I do driving. Now, this is where Pouch helps me save a lot of money when shopping online. So you can see there, I've added 10 litres of oil to my basket. I click on View Basket, Pouch automatically pops up and finds the best code available. And as you can see, it automatically applies it, and I've saved a massive £66 just in this order. Now, think how many times a year I do that order. It works on over 3,000 UK sites, and if there are no live codes available at the time you're shopping online, you can gain points which you can redeem from participating retailers at a later date and for gift cards. Pouch only takes a couple of clicks to install, and make sure you pin it to your browser. So there's no real reason not to download Pouch. It's completely free, and it will save you money when online shopping. All you've got to do is click the link in my description and install it. So a massive thanks to Pouch for sponsoring today's video, and I think we should be about charged up. Okay, so this battery is holding no charge whatsoever, so I have no choice, but I've got to take it out, and I'm going to just replace it temporarily with this one, which I know to be of kind of good stand. So we'll fit that in, and then hopefully I can just test the rest of the car, obviously apart from the gearbox. Right, new battery all fit, well, used battery all fitted, and I still had problems because the ignition still wouldn't turn on. It was really getting my nerves. But turns out just a simple key out the ignition, back in the ignition, and that seemed to do the trick, because now, he says, yay, there's me nav. We have ignition, and we have an annoying noise. It's a good start. I'm so tempted just to try and turn it over. Right, so let's see if everything works. Let's go heated seats. So it looks like the infotainment system is okay at the moment. Obviously dash is all lit up. I'm really tempted to turn it over, but obviously I can't. Heated seat, my arse isn't hot yet, but let's just have a look. Turn the lights on. Oh yeah, my arse is getting hot now. We're good. Right, let's just jump out. Basically, I just want to go through everything just to make sure everything else is working fine, because obviously if there's electrical damage, then that's a whole kettle of fish, that's a whole different ball game. But all the lights seem to be working on the rear, including the number plate lights. Let's check the front. Got a headlight bulb out. Hopefully it is just a bulb, but the side lights are working. Fog light is broken down there. Oh, fog light still works though. It has come up on the dash, dipped beam near side out as well, so that's good, at least it's recognising it. Hazards seem to be working, so I think we're okay. And on the rear, yeah, everything is working okay there. So as far as electrical wise, electronics, I think we're okay. Just put the windows down. Folding mirrors. Nice. Yeah, I think we're okay electronic wise at the moment. Everything seems to be working okay. Seats. Yeah, okay, I think we're good. I am going to quickly remove this black stripe that goes down the bonnet and onto the roof as well, because I'm sure it's annoying a lot of you, and every time I look at it, it is annoying me as well. So hopefully a bit of a heat gun, just peel that off, and then it will look fine again. Luckily it is just those two stripes, there's nothing else. There we go, look, de-stickered, just obviously a little bit of residue which will polish out, but nice and easy sticker off. Now, on to the engine. Finally, we got there in the end. Now, the first thing we need to do is obviously turn this engine over by hand, just to check that it is in fact seized. Now, the way I'm going to do that, first of all, is I'm going to remove the engine cover and I'm going to take all the spark plugs out. And first of all, have a look down there, see if it's full of water, see if I can see anything using my borescope. And then next thing is to get it onto the ramp, get it into the air, and then I'll probably drain the oil to see if there's any water in the oil. And then if I can, I'm going to need to get some sort of, let me have a look, let me get a torch. Yeah, so see the crank pulley down there, there'll be a socket I can get into there. And I'll need to get a socket into there and try and turn the engine over by hand. So obviously you'll have to remove the ender tray that you can see down the bottom there. So that is the plan, and yeah, we're going to start with the spark plugs. Right, I'm guessing this is just a cover. That pops off, there we go. See, someone's failed before. This is going to take me 10 times longer than a Audi or VAG, because I don't know how any of these things come off. I am just assuming and hoping for the best, really. Well, we've got some K&M panel filters. I mean, they're not wet, don't feel wet. However, obviously the car's been parked up for God knows how many months, so probably just dried out naturally. Right, I don't know if you can see there, look, we have 4 spark plugs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exactly the same on the other side. Access looks okay at the moment. For definite for these two, I don't know if it's going to be difficult to get anything in there, but there's one way to find out. So I've got my spark plugs out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they all look absolutely fine. There's nothing missing from any of them, and they all look okay. None of them are actually wet or anything like that. Right, so now let's try and take a look down some of the bores. We'll start with cylinder 1. Looks, what's that on the left? That don't look good, does it? There. Can't really see what that is. Whatever it is, it don't look good though, does it? Looks dry though, it doesn't look wet, but I don't know what that is. Cylinder 2. Again, can't really see anything, but looks dry. Cylinder 6. Oh, what's going on there? That don't look good, does it? What's happened there? I can't really see much, but it don't look good, does it? That one I can't see anything, number 7. No, it's way too close, but it don't look good, does it? From there, don't look good. Now, obviously, we've just been through and had a look at down the bores of all the cylinders. It's quite hard to see because A, the camera's not a great quality, and B, all the pistons are quite high near the top, so it's hard to get a clear picture. However, we did find in cylinder 1, and I think it was 5, I'm not too sure, there was a clear evidence of something not right. I've taken some screenshots, I'll show you on the screen now. So that's cylinder 1. And I'm just going to say that's cylinder 5. So there's one from each bank that has got a clear issue that we need to look into further. And I think number 7 as well, it looked really pitted on top of the crown, on top of the piston. So that's also something I need to look into. But for now, I think I can actually access the crank pulley from here. So I'm going to try and get a lever bar on there, breaker bar on there, and try and turn the engine over and then see what happens. But at the moment, I can't see any signs of any water damage. Now that just may be because obviously the car has been sat for 2 to 3, maybe even 4 months, including the time it's sat in my ownership. So all the water could have just dried off. But at the minute, I'm not too sure if it is water damage. Right, so I've managed to get a breaker bar and a socket on the crank. So I'm going to try and turn it over. Oh, it does turn over. Ah, well, I've already got further than I did with the RS4. I have movement straight away. Right, okay, now I've got movement, I actually want to, this is going to be hard to film this bit, but I'm going to stick the camera back in cylinder 1 and have a look at that bit that I was concerned about and just see if I can see any more with turning the engine over. Bear with. Right, so I've got it in cylinder 1. Just twist it to the bit I was concerned about there. Now let me try and turn the engine over. Oh, I did. Oh, it's gone. I think it's just a bit of carbon by the looks of it. No, I think that was number. I think it was number 6 that had that other bit I was concerned about, but again, that seems okay now. I think it's just carbon build-up. So let me go to number 7, was it? I was concerned about the pitting. This one, look. Right, let me put this one down. No, I think that's alright actually. Right, I'm a bit confused at the moment. The engine turns over absolutely fine by hand. I've cranked it over probably 5 or 6 times fully by hand now, and there's no roughness at all whatsoever. It is really smooth. I can hear clicking, which I'm guessing is the hydraulic tensioners because of the obviously lack of oil pressure because it's not running. But no, it feels absolutely fine. Now, when I was taking it apart, I did feel that it just didn't look like it had been stripped before, like in a long time anyway. Like all the bolts were just that crack tight, which you just know it's been tight for a while. Couldn't see any evidence of fresh marks where people have removed stuff. So I was just like, this doesn't feel like it's been checked for engine damage. I can't see any damage now in the pistons, so I think I'm going to check the oil level, I'm going to check the oil filter housing and do a compression test, I think. I mean, it's definitely an old... I mean, the oil filter's not great, I'm not going to lie. Genuine oil filter by the looks of it. AMG look, but it's a bit knackered. But to turn it over, that'll be fine. I can see some oil in there. Just got my compression tester and I'm a bit gutted at the minute because my one only has the standard size fitment and an oversized fitment, and obviously this AMG has the smaller type spark plug, so I'm absolutely gutted. And I've tried to find a compression tester local. There is none local, so I've had to order one from Amazon, next day delivery. So annoyingly, I'm gonna have to stop working on this for today, which is a bit frustrating, but fine with you because video will resume in a couple of seconds. Right, I have now got my new compression tester, which has the adapter for the smaller spark plug there. I've turned the engine over by hand. It's probably 5 or 6 times. So I have nothing else left to do but to do a compression test and see what I find. I've had the battery on charge overnight, so it should be okay. I am just gonna turn the engine over with no tester on it first, just to make sure it turns over fine on the starter. Obviously without any compression. So we'll do that now and yeah, see what happens. I'm a bit So yeah, there we go, turned over okay on the starter, so let's start doing compressions, I suppose. Right, I've just taken the fuse out for the fuel pump so that doesn't pump loads of fuel everywhere. I've just plugged in cylinder 1. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put it on a quick time lapse, I'll do all the cylinders and I'll come back to you with the results. Right, so there we go, all compression testing done. What I've done is I've written them all on my phone, so I'll probably just put up a screenshot now. So you can see there that I put cylinders 6 and 8 were slow cranking. That's just because the battery was getting down, and obviously with number 7 I let it charge up for a little bit. So I don't know what the difference is supposed to be. I know there's quite a lot of variance between cylinders you can have on VAG anyway, so I'm not too sure. I suppose the only real anomaly there is cylinder 1 with only just under 11 bar, but I don't know if that's an acceptable difference or not. So it all looks okay. I think cylinder 8 and 6 would definitely go a bit higher, obviously with the faster cranking battery. So yeah, I'm a bit confused at the moment. As I said earlier, I couldn't find any evidence of the engine being previously stripped to like check for damage. I can't find any evidence of any flood or water damage or anything like that. The engine's not seized, it turns over. I've got compression on all cylinders, so I'm not really too sure what's going on at the moment. I bought it as a flood damaged car. It's, in my opinion, not that. So the next thing to do is to stick the spark plugs, coil packs back in and try and start it. Now, unfortunately, that isn't going to be in today's video. I haven't got time to do it anymore in today's video. If some of you have seen on Instagram, my truck broke down during the week and I spent nearly 2 days trying to fix that. So that's pushed me right back with this video. So let me know in the comments, what do you think is going on with this car? Do you think it will start up in the next video? Is there going to be a knocking noise? Is there going to be something else wrong with it? And do you think someone's been telling porkies about whether it's flooded or not? Because obviously, if it goes in the flood, you can claim on your insurance. But if there's engine damage, that you can't claim on your insurance. So, do you reckon someone's been telling porkies? Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think is going on with this car, because I don't know. And yeah, hope you did enjoy today's video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.